Alright, hold on a minute. So, James Bond. You know, I was watching a lot of James Bond today, so I figured I'd cover a James Bond movie, but I have to do one that is part of my childhood, right? So, I'm going to cover GoldenEye. But let's spend a little bit of time on the history of James Bond, alright? James Bond has been betrayed by 6 people as of this point in time in 2021. And James Bond itself, in film at least, goes back to 1962 with Dr. No, which was the first Bond film, where Bond was originally played by the late Sean Connery. May he rest in peace. Connery would play the role for 5 films before passing the role on to George Lazenby, who would play Bond in only one film, that being on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Connery would come back after that for Diamonds Are Forever, but would leave the role, and the role would be passed on to Roger Moore. And while Connery's movies were cheesy because it was the 60s, and Lazenby's was actually kind of serious, Roger Moore's films would start out somewhat serious, with his first 2 films being okay, and then turning into pure cheese, like extra sharp cheddar cheese. By the time his 7 films, yes, he's the longest running James Bond, 4 of his 7 films would finish. After which, actor Timothy Dalton would come in to play Bond for 2 films, The Living Daylights and License to Kill. And originally they wanted Pierce Brosnan to take the role, but at the time he wasn't available due to Remington Steele. Well, after Dalton did 2 films in 1987 and 1989, he was out and spent years trying to get another one out, in which, after a lawsuit, there was GoldenEye, starring Pierce Brosnan as James Bond. Now, right away, there's a little bit of continuity error right away, because the beginning of this film takes place in 1986, and as I mentioned, the last film came out in 89, so... But the beginning of this film takes place in 1986 and sees 007, played by Pierce Brosnan, and 006, Alex Trevelyan, played by Sean Bean, enter this top secret location in a dam. And if you're a fan of the video game like I am, sitting here watching this, it starts where you start. You're in the bathroom vent, you're crawling in, you go down into the bathroom, you kill these guards with your silencer, you can go out and you got a rendezvous with 006. And he does that, and then they got this stuff to explode. But 006, he gets caught and shot in the head and dies. Because it's Sean Bean. And so 007, he activates the thing on his watch, blows the thing up, and escapes. 9 years later, which is when our film takes place, he is now tracking this terrorist known only as Giannis. And he's working with Omarov, who was the general who shot Alec, and he's trying to stop, James Bond is trying to stop Omarov and Giannis from activating a satellite known as GoldenEye, which acts as an EMP of sorts, deactivating a lot of technology. There's 2 technicians that work on this satellite. There's Boris, played wonderfully by Alan Cumming, although I am conflicted because I love the character of Boris. I am invincible in the movie. In the video game, though, he's fucking stupid, because I can't get past this level that I'm on in the game because I have to have him or put in some codes or something, but I have to follow him, and then either the other bad guys shoot him, or he gets in my way while I'm trying to shoot the bad guys, and he dies. And I can't get past the level. And I'm on the easiest difficulty, too. But it's still a wonderful game. I enjoy it. I like to shoot the people in the games. But, yes. And so our Bond girl, per se, is Natalia, played by Isabella Scorupia. Sorry if I messed that up. There's also, I think they count, I'm not too familiar with Bond girls. I had to look up the information. Watching all the videos, I know information about it. But I think they also count the female, villainous female, as a Bond girl. And so that's Xena on the top, which I'm ashamed to admit I just now got the name on the top. She likes to be on the top. I mean, it's not as in your face as Pussy Galore. Or if you want to go to Austin Powers, a lot of vagina. But, it sneaks in there because I didn't get it till now until I watched it. She's like, on the top. And then he repeats it. I'm like, why is she on the top? I get it. And Famke Janssen plays the role. And you would not want to piss out that woman. She uses sex as a weapon, basically. She would wrap her legs around you and squeeze the shit out of you, man. Ugh. And there's so many scenes with her. I think that's one of my main problems is that she's so overpowered that she has to be taken out by a helicopter, and even that doesn't make any sense. Because James straps the thing from the helicopter to her and shoots the helicopter. As it falls down, she gets dragged up into the tree and goes like this and then just dies, which I don't understand. If she got pulled through the trees and some limbs got pulled off, that would make more sense, but I don't know. But both two lovely ladies. We got M in this film, which is a character. It's been in almost all the James Bond films, I believe. But here is a turning point for M because she's played. It's a she. I think the first time it was a she. And played by Judi Dench, who would play the role up until Skyfall, I believe. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But, yes. And, of course, the great Desmond Llewellyn as Q. And he's played that role since From Russia with Love back in 1964. I'm trying to remember all my information. But he's Q. And then we have Monet Partner. And she's in the scene with Bond where I believe that's her in the car with him when they first introduce On the Top, and they're going the ridiculous looking chase, but it's pretty good. This movie is directed by Martin Campbell, who will also go on to direct another great James Bond movie, and the only other one I actually really like because it's the only other one I've really seen, Casino Royale. I've also seen Quantum of Solace, but I remember nothing. It's like I remember little bits of Casino Royale. It's been years. I haven't watched that nearly as much as GoldenEye, obviously. I mean, this film is fantastic. There's, like, they're in a helicopter that it's got missiles aimed somewhere, I think, and then there's a scene. You actually get to do this in a video game, too. James Bond drives a tank. Yes, Tyrese, I did say a tank. Fast and Furious, you were there. And, yeah, it's fantastic. He's so, Omarov, what do you pronounce it, has Natalia, so he chases him down with a tank, and it's fantastic. The one scene I want to talk about here is the reveal of Giannis, because, now, admittedly, I hadn't seen the movie when I played the video game. But in the video game, when this is revealed, it honestly blew my mind. It's revealed that Giannis is actually 006, Alex Trevelyan. And this is a shock, not only to the audience, but to James Bond. And you get this whole speech from Trevelyan, about how he hates what Bond stands for and all that. It's fantastic. And the look on Bond's face when he sees his friend, who he thought was dead, still alive. And now, I've always wondered, like, so if this was all set up for him to, well, if this was all set up, something must have gone wrong, because I'm pretty sure he didn't plan to get scars on the side of his face. I'm assuming that wasn't part of his plan. So that's the one thing I think there was, but he has these scars. These scars. I don't know how they got these scars. No. Scars on the side of his face. So he must have been still there when the explosion happened. I don't know. Or maybe it's a result of, like, fake black powder stuff. I don't know. But, yeah, you got Robbie Coltrane, who, is Hagrid from Harry Potter. He's in this. You got Joe Don Baker, who plays, like, a CIA agent or something. And there's a funny joke where James Bond calls for backup, and they get there at the very end of the film, and it's too late. But the scene I want to talk about now is the Cradle Scene. After all this stuff has happened, Boris has frozen himself to death with liquid nitrogen after the "I am invincible" because he survives an explosion, and that's another thing I want to talk about in the video game. Man, when he was first doing it and I shoot him and I'm like, man, I thought you were invincible. How are you fucking getting shot right now? But yeah, and then the fight in the cradle when James knocks Alec down and he lands and he's still somehow fucking alive. But then the satellite comes down and just right on him. Just fantastic. This movie is fantastic. If I want to say one thing that negative is that, like, just before the climax, he rescues Natalia and then decide, okay, now it's the time to fuck. In the middle of a terrorist situation, James Bond still got to get laid. I'm just saying. But, this movie is fantastic. What can I say? There's, honestly, little things, just a nitpick. I love this film. It's absolutely fantastic. It's kind of long, but it's a James Bond film. What do you expect? At least the more modern James Bond ones were kind of long. It's a fantastic watch. And I can't give GoldenEye any score better than a 10 out of 10 for me. So what are your thoughts on 007 GoldenEye? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.